Hello, Vol Nation. Welcome to another episode of Believe in Tennessee Football. I'm your host, as always, Tyler Curbison, going to Brew Bacon. It's the twofer. We got another one. This one is going to be all defense and Bama. It's going to be a great podcast. You guys are going to love it. Before we get into it, please, if you're watching, like and subscribe and hit that notification bell and leave comments. It's amazing. We love answering the comments. We love talking to you guys. If you're just listening, rate and review, leave 5 stars, download and re-download. It helps us so much. And share with friends and family. That's word of mouth is the way we grow, the way we keep going, the way we put out more content. So, like I said, talking about the defense versus LSU, what they did, how they did, plays that they ran, certain players and how they stepped up. And then we're talking about Bama. What are our odds? What are our chances? What do me and Reed think about Bama coming to Neyland and if we're going to win or not? So going to be a great one. Let's jump into it.
By the game. Snap. The kick is in the air, and the kick this time is no, sir-ree. No, sir-ree. Final score, Tennessee 20, Florida 17. Pandemonium reigns.
Loads up, fires long for the end zone. The pass is going to be caught. Tennessee wins! Caught by Tennessee to one Jennings. Jennings makes the catch in the end zone on the Hail Mary.
Down at the 35, to the 40, to the 45, to the 50, to the 45, to the 40, to the 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. What did he do? All he did was score. Joey Pence, touchdown on play number 1.
All right, so before we get into the podcast, we got to shout out our number one sponsor, betonline.ag. You guys know I say it every podcast. It is the place to go for all your betting news and odds and sports, everything. This is the place, okay? With BetOnline, you get the most up-to-date fighting news. You get to bet on MLB games going on right now, NFL. I mean, you can bet on anything. Team total wins, division wins, individual players, all of it, okay? So now is the time to sign up. At BetOnline, you can sign up on your mobile device, or you can go online, get a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use the promo code BELIEVE at checkout. That's BLEAV. And you get that 50% welcome bonus. So listen, y'all, please use that. Please go to BetOnline when you're doing all your sports betting. It makes things a lot more fun and a lot more interesting. And I always love them. They're the place to go. BetOnline. It's where the game starts. All right. So let's transition into defense now. I mean, we are pretty far into it already, so I think this is more of like a go through it. You know, with our defense, I love the pressure we always get on a quarterback. We said at the beginning, this is going to be the exact same game plan versus Florida. We have to stop their running backs, make their quarterback throw, and, you know, if he wants to run, like, we're going to be able to get to him. Like, we're not going to let him run all over the place. Exactly what we did. You know, he ends up throwing 45 times for 300 yards. That's 6.7 yards of reception. That's exactly what you want. Like, there wasn't deep balls, you know, going over our heads. We made him throw it 45 times. He's not that good of a thrower. Like, he missed open guys sometimes. And, you know, the completions he had were like easy hitches coming back. We're in zone. You know, check downs to running backs. You know, and they got yards off of PIs, off of face masks, off of holdings, and nothing that had to do with what they were actually doing. So that kind of annoyed me, that our defense was just, there was a lot of penalties on defense. that gave a lot of yardage to LSU and kept their drives alive. Now, once they got to a certain point, we were able to stop them, which I loved. But, I thought like in our zone coverage, they were able to take advantage of that. I thought in man, we did very well. I thought we were all over those wide receivers. The pressures that were drawn up in the games that were run by our defensive line were incredible. That's why those sacks were happening. There were twists, there were stunts, there were pressures off the edge. I absolutely loved it. Multiple times, Byron had some sacks, and Roman was back there, and Jeremy Banks was back there, but Tyler Barron set up, I think, 3 or 4 of the sacks by just being dominant, by taking 2 blockers and letting Byron eat and letting Roman eat. Like, he had an unsung hero kind of game that maybe not, other people didn't notice. But I absolutely love him at a 3 technique, in especially any kind of passing down. It is absolutely dangerous. I thought there was some good play designs by LSU too. I thought that they had like a running back bubble on their second drive that was a very good design. Like, it was exactly the thing to beat our coverage. There was some stuff out of the DBs that, like, I just felt like Charles wasn't going after the receiver. Like, once he hit his hitch, he was just kind of like waiting and waiting and waiting. I'm like, go after him. I'm just kind of like, anything pops in the head. So you can go ahead too.
That's coming from offensive lineman right there. Well, just go up and get him. Just go up and tackle the guy who's really athletic and in the open field. All right, so let me say this. Defensively, I'm gonna try to talk as quick as possible. Defensively, once again, I thought it was a massive team effort. Massive team effort, Kyler. The amount of notes that I have on multiple guys is insane. It's insane that I'm saying this many people over and over. One of my favorite plays of the entire game is technically from our backup linebacker, Aaron Beasley. I mean, the way he freaking shot that gap and on the 4th and 1, insane.
Just crushed him.
Now, defensive line, you've got Byron Young, you've got Tyler Barron, you have Omari Thomas, you would think maybe those are the guys that are going to be the most well-known, best players. I kid you not, Karat Garland and Latrell Bumpus and Bryson Eason and all those guys again.
Josephs.
Hold on. All those guys again flash big time. Then you have a true freshman, Joshua Joe. Oh boy. Then you have Joshua Joseph, who is just a freak athletically. And it was funny. I told the story to my dad when Joshua Joseph made that sack, which was just a great stunt, great game.
But Bryson Easton just taking
it wasn't he didn't like Von Miller someone off the edge and like bend and do something. But it was his speed and his ability to make the play when it's in front of him. But I told my dad, I was like, when Kyler and I were at practice, he was talking to the offensive lineman, and they were all like, this kid is a problem, and the fact that he's already just a true freshman. So love to see that.
He's gonna be a menace in a couple of years.
Yeah, for sure. When he had some size and weight. Yeah. So anyways, the fact that we're naming all, like I said, besides Byron Young, who has 3 sacks, besides Tyler Barron, who's the unsung hero, besides Omari Thomas, who's the best interior player, like Dominic Bailey literally had a drive on his own that he shut down. 3 plays in a row, he's making the play. And it's just like, and like I said, then you got Latrell Bumpus. It's like, it's weird because going into this year, I'm sitting at practice and I'm like, who the fuck are these guys? Now, granted, I'm at one practice. I'm not there every day. Like, but I'm sitting there thinking, okay, we got.
But it was talked about. Everybody's talked about that. The defensive line, like interior, was the one that we were worried about because Matthew Butler was such a destroyer, and he.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so I can count on Amari. And then after that, I'm like, who's going to step up? Motherfuckers, all of them are stepping up. That's what's crazy, bro. All of them.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're in the game, they're making plays. I didn't see Tyree West in this game. No, like newsflash, when the game was in hand, Robbie and I had a tea time to make, so I was keeping up with it, obviously, on my phone. And it was like probably 5 minutes ago in the third quarter, so I'm just watching my phone. Game's over. I knew I had to go back and rewatch it anyways. So, like, if Tyree West got in the game, I'm just saying. But then, like I said, Solomon Page is in the game. Aaron Beasley's in the game. Danico Slaughter's in the game making a tackle for a loss in the backfield. Like, Wesley Walker, Tamari McDonald. It's just like, what? I mean, it's just dudes left and right making plays. Yeah. I thought our corners, like, Kamal's kind of up and down sometimes. Like, I thought that the one that they called him with the hook around the back, I think that gets called, maybe 50% of the time. I don't think it was a blatant PI. I think
he got another one where I was like, I don't see it at all. I don't see it.
Yeah, I think it could have been, either way. And then Tamari McDonald had another one where he was right in the hip pocket, makes another great play. And then, listen, I thought Christian Charles and I thought, played fine for what I saw. There was one, and by the way, I'll disagree with you. I thought Jaden Daniels actually had some very nice throws. I thought his receivers let him down a couple times. But, like, there was one where it was like a 14-yard comeback, 14-yard out, whatever you want to call it. Christian Charles had unbelievable coverage.
Yeah.
It was just a great throw. It was just a great throw and catch. But he's there. And so, like, people were like, oh, here we go. Christian Charles getting beat on a 3rd and 8 or 3rd and whatever.
Then later in the game, the exact same thing happened where it was a hitch, a comeback, whatever, and Christian Charles got there and deflected the ball.
Right. Well, hell, on that 4th and 1 that I was talking about with Aaron Beasley, Christian Charles was on the outside, comes up, sets the edge, and then jumps in on the tackle, makes a good play. It's like, we forget, like, this dude's still young, and he was at safety like 3 weeks ago.
The play before that was so funny because they ran that play action. It was man coverage from all, and I think Charles on the other side, and like Jaden Daniels just didn't do anything. He didn't see him at all. Ends up getting sacked, and it goes over to Brian Kelly, and he's like, "It's 1-on-1. What the fuck?" Like, this is hilarious. Like, he has no faith in his quarterback. His quarterback cannot make the plays when they're presented to him, like you were saying earlier.
Right. No, I mean, and listen, I respect LSU early. They tried to get number 7 in the game, and this is the play defensively that it was so early in the game. And I said, my gosh, if this team plays like this on defense, it is going to be a long day for LSU. And I'm going to send you these 3 screenshots. Every single person did their job on this. I mean, it was Kyler. I mean, it was silly. So first off, you got and I don't have the pictures because I'm talking to you on my phone. Let me see if I wrote it down on this one because like I said, I was taking pictures. But it's one. So I love when we do our 5x1, and what that is our 4 down linemen, usually whether it's Jawan or Solomon Page or Aaron Beasley. Walk up, and then they leave Jeremy Banks kind of in that middle. And it's like first play of the game. It's like, we're bringing it. Like Jane Daniels, like, we're here. We're going to bring it. We're going to be in man. Jeremy Banks either was in man he was either in man, he was a mid robber, or he was a spy. And he could have been in man on the running back. The running back stays in the block, so then he gets to do what he wants. But, like, I thought that set the tone. Then they try to get 7, their best player, on that. And this is the play that I'm going to send you the pictures. They try to get their best player with the ball in his hands, on the edge. And it was insane how well the defensive line, like I said, I think it was Karat Garland, gets a push, sets a new line of scrimmage. I think it's Bryce and Eason, sets the line of scrimmage. Roman Harrison plays it backside, but it's perfect because he's there. He sits, he waits. Then he sees, okay, it's gone. Then he pushes. Wesley Walker misses the tackle, but he shoots the gap really well, gets a hand on number 7. Jeremy Banks scraping over the top. He takes on a couple blockers that forces back in. Tank's coming down his alley, forces back in. And then, like, when you see these screenshots, it's just like, it's what defensive coordinators and people who love defense, like, it's like porn to them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I hate saying porn but, like, I like when people say, like, food porn, or, like, I follow something on Twitter that's like house porn, and it shows like all the beautiful homes and stuff. But, like, it's like, it's art of defense, of how you play. Like, set the line of scrimmage, run down the line of scrimmage, force guys back inside, get off blocks, make a hit. And I just thought that set the tempo for the entire day. And so for me, defensively, man, I love that there's multiple guys making plays at multiple times. And I can't tell you how impressed I am with the defensive line / front seven of how they played compared to last year. And just with the unknown of, hey, this wasn't the year that we had, Albert Hainsworth or John Henderson coming back, or, we had, Jesse Mahalona or Ham Harrell or, any of these guys in the interior that growing up, we knew, okay, we got this guy in the middle. Like, we had Amari Thomas, but was he going to make that next step? So I'm going to run through just because I got to give these shouts outs, but I'm not going to go through them.
Yeah. I mean, I was about to start doing the same thing. Just like,
go ahead. You start.
Out certain things. Jeremy Banks had like great coverage on that tight end. He was just in his hip pocket, ended up batting the ball away. And this wasn't now, but later in the game, Tamarian has a great coverage on a slot as he tries to do that slot shot. And it literally just reminded me of, this was the same thing that happened to Tamarian versus Pitt. He gets a PI and they get a first down. This time, Tamarian turns his head, knocks the ball away. And I'm like, look at the growth. Just from a few games, look at the growth. Let's see. Slaughter comes from safety. I freaking love that. He came from safety, and Roman was on that side. They knew ahead of time, we have to take away this read option that they like to do. They did it multiple times of a safety blitz coming, an outside linebacker coming around the edge to take away if Jaden Daniels pulls the ball. So I love to see that out of Tim Banks just drawing up the play for him. Inside games were dangerous. It was, I think it was before the half. Bumpus, Tyler Barron, and Byron Young were all on guard, center, guard. And their games to get around and Byron gets a sack, I'm like, bro, I would be freaking out if I was a center in that situation. Just like, what the hell are you going to do? Charles was about this close to getting a pick on that drive after half. I was close. Let's see. The games they were running, again, just incredible. Byron had a hell of a game. There was one play he got broken off, but he still like attempted a tackle on Jaden Daniels. Let's see. You go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep looking.
I want to shout out Roman Harrison. They dropped him in coverage one time. It was him and Jeremy Banks in the open field. Jaden Daniels tries to get out. Roman plays it great in the open field. Which it's very nice that you can have a defensive end that you trust enough to drop back, because I love some of that crap. When you drop a defensive lineman, I think it is such a great play call defensively, because the either the quarterback doesn't see him or the quarterback's like, wait, what? They got 8 drop back now? Like they're covering all these lanes. So I love that. But then when Jaden Daniels ran, Roman, played it really well in the open field. Man, I have my 4 dots kind of bubbled because this is the 4th down stop. But this is where Dominic Bailey uses his hands, swing move, TFL. Then you got Kamal fires to the backfield. He missed the tackle, which I don't love. I wish he would have been a little bit more control. But guess who's there to clean it up? Dominic Bailey. Mm. Then you got the one where they run a stunt, so they're going from left to right, and then Jeremy Banks is coming way off the edge, and so Jaden Daniels has an alleyway, but we still make the tackle, and that's where we still force like the 4th and 1, 4th and 2. They try to get number 7 the ball, and he trips. The alignment had to be off because
I think he snapped the ball too fast.
Maybe he did, but the thing is, Kyler, I watched it multiple times. The right tackle didn't take a step and trip him. They just ran into each other, and the right tackle hadn't even really started his drop back. So I don't know what number 7 was doing. It was a nice play to get back up, make the catch. That was the one I thought we got a pretty favorable spot.
And
it was
if
nice.
he didn't fall, that would have been first down.
Yeah, and it was nice. And it was nice for Trey and Kamal to be there. But I mean, that play, I was so impressed. Not only did Dominic Bailey do it one time, he did it like 3 straight plays in a row. It's just like, I mean, that is unbelievably impressive for a defensive lineman. I mean, I'm happy if a defensive lineman makes a play like that like twice a game, let alone 3 times on the same possession.
Yeah.
So
I agree with you.
go ahead on any other ones.
So there were some plays that I was like, I don't know. And obviously I like to talk to you about them too, because they're DB stuff, but like the one where they ended up scoring their first touchdown to get down to the goal line, they completed that pass to the tight end. Wesley Walker starts in like a press spot, but then just backs up and lets his guy kind of run. And that's what picks McCullough, and he can't get to the tight end, completed pass, gets down to the 1. Is that like, hey, if you're going to be up there, like actually, press the guy before 5 yards, like put a hand on him?
If it was called to be pressed, he would have. But that was just disguising. They tell you to do that crap all the time, whether it's at linebacker, safety, corner. They always say, hey, don't sit and show. These quarterbacks know if you sit and show. So most of the time, if a guy's showing up, then he's going to drop back, or if he's back, then he's going to come up at the end, right before the ball snap, at safety or corner, nickel. Most of the times, if a corner is locked in and he's sitting there, and he's kind of firm in that man, if he doesn't move in the first 1 or 2, 3 seconds after he shows it, then he usually is. It's a straight up man. They're not playing games. Like it is what it is. So it was just pre-snap. Wesley was probably honestly just doing that on his own, just trying to, because they allow you to do that. They give you the freedom to say, hey, DB coaches will say, don't show them what we're doing here, like disguise it.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was a great possession right before the half of forcing them into 4th down. Then we get into 4th down. It's just like confusing that left tackle LSU has, because he is a freshman, just taking advantage of that. Byron getting a sack. I mean, hell, Jeremy Banks would have got the sack if Byron didn't get there. So I loved seeing that. Let's see. I hear holding on Haddon was ticky-tack. Like, did not think that at all. That's in the second half. Jeremy fighting.
You didn't think it was a PI?
I did not think it was I thought it was very ticky-tack for them to call it. I was like, hold it. Like, he barely touched him. I don't see that. The bubble, they end up throwing a bubble to the running back number 27, Williams, and he cuts inside. That's when he kind of like gets hurt. But like the little stuff, Tamarian fights to the outside of the block, keeps his outside arm available, makes the running back go, I have to cut inside. Running back trips, turnover. Like, we get the ball back. So it's just little stuff like that. Like, once you set the edge, good things happen, And another thing, I thought it was so dumb in short yardage of Brian Kelly being like, yeah, we're just going to try to run up the middle. When you watch the Florida game 2 weeks ago, and what did they do versus us? Edge, get to the edge. And they were able to beat us. And Brian Kelly's an idiot where he's just like, oh, yeah, short yardage going up the middle. Like, did you watch any film? Earlier in the week, you said that we don't run out of different formations. And now you're doing this shit on offense. I'm like, what?
If I'm an LSU fan, I'm pretty annoyed by that. Like, if I'm an LSU fan, it's still his only first year. Like, I'll give him a couple more years. I do think, unfortunately, I don't like him, but I do think he's a good coach. I'll be surprised if he doesn't have some pretty strong, pretty good teams while he's down there. But that was super, super dumb to say, hey, they run a lot of fast tempo, which means they don't get to motion a lot or sub a lot or whatever. I'm like, guy, I'm a guy that does a meaningless podcast, and I watch it and see that. Like, if I'm the AD at LSU, or I'm a big booster, and we just gave you $100 million, and you're saying dumb stuff like that, I'm just sitting here like, you haven't watched it, or you haven't talked to your defensive, staff, because that was ignorant.
There was one like blitz where they had Solomon Page as a backside linebacker coming all the way across to cover the inside wide receiver, which I was like, I don't like that play. Like, I don't like that setup that Solomon Page has to run all the way across. That was just something little. Beasley's ability to drop into the zone once he realizes his guy stays in for block. Then Jaden Daniels gets out of the pocket. It's a stiff arm, and he still makes that tackle. Like, that was very impressive. Over on the sidelines, that tackle by Beasley, I thought that was awesome. Our twist games are just killing them all through it. We did a twist, there was a holding call. He threw it in the end zone, it was a completed pass. The wide receiver bowed down 37-7. I was like, are you not embarrassed? Are you not embarrassed that you are getting your ass kicked? It's in the fourth quarter. There's no way you're winning this game. And you're over there bowing like you broke the DB off.
When I coach, if a guy does that crap, I'm just kind of like, hey man, I'll see you on Monday after practice, me and you. I mean, if I'm a head coach, I could be the head coach for the freaking, Tennessee Volunteers, Tennessee Titans. Like, I mean, I'm gonna be like, hey man, like, I'll see you on the field, me and you.
No
like,
kidding.
I can't have that. Now, one thing I do respect is if you see a defense and they're getting blasted, and you still got some guy out there giving a ton of effort, and he makes a tackle in the backfield, and he kind of like still gets excited. I'm okay with that because you're still fighting, you're carrying. But like if you, like you said, catch something and bow or do something that like brings attention to yourself, like I'm gonna. And you know what?
You're losing.
Yeah, so no, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you're losing to bring you like. And matter of fact, I said defensively, if a guy is playing hard, makes a tackle, and tries to get everyone else fired up, like, hey, let's keep fighting until it hits zero, even though we're getting our ass beat. But I will say defensively, if like a DB bats it away and it's like that I would have issues with that because you're not fired up that you just made a stop defensively. You are bringing attention to yourself. Like if you bat a pass away and like, okay, team, like, let's go. Like, let's keep fighting. Let's not give up any points. That's one thing. But this, sorry, tangent over.
Exactly. After that there was like 2 plays in a row where the defense was not set. And I hate seeing that. Like, I hate the fact that guys just aren't ready for what's about to happen. Charles got called for a PI. I thought it was hand fighting on both sides late in the game. I did not agree with that. Zone coverage, no one in the back of the end zone, that touchdown to number 7 late in the game. You can't tell from a TV copy just because it literally doesn't show you the end zone. But that kind of sucked. Amari just going freaking beast mode on the 2-point conversion and absolutely running through the right guard, making the sack. The last drive, we're backing up, we're playing zone, we're not letting anything deep, we're letting it all in front of us. There's check downs, they're getting yards, but it's like this game's over. So, no one think like those are empty calories, those are empty yards, they don't mean anything. It was so funny when they did like a little story on Byron Young, like it panned over to him and he was like, 1, 2, you hit 1, you hit what? He was counting up the sacks. He was like, we got 5. I was like, oh, I love it. I love the fact that that's when they pan to him and he's counting up the sacks. And then just to finish, the pick by Trey Flowers. I mean, what an unbelievable play by him. We don't expect Trey to be like that cover guy. And then he goes one-on-one with a fade route and makes, one of the coolest plays I've ever, like one hand, bring it in, gets both feet down before he falls out of bounds. And then you hear every Tennessee fan in that stadium singing Rocky Top. It sounded like a home game after he made that pick. God, man, that felt good.
Multiple times during that game did it sound like a home game on TV. And when it first started, Dan Orlovsky was like, man, this place is packed. Like, it's a loud crowd in there. I'm like, ain't nobody like Tennessee Vols, bro. Ain't nobody. Like, game day was at Kansas. Kansas couldn't even fill their little baby stadium. Like, there's still stuff around. There's still spots. I thought still at LSU there were still spots. Bro, this is the number 8 team in the nation. You're 25th. And you can't pack the place out. Like, the people just aren't on our level. Like, they're just
We sold out for Akron. We sold out for Akron, bro.
I just love when it's a game and they're like, look at this crowd. It's a packed house. And then, like, they zoom out. It happens once every week. Whether I remember one time it was LSU and, like, Arkansas, like, last year. And, like, they zoomed out. Like, the backs weren't done. But it's just like LSU can't even pack the house, bro. Like, you can't. And, it's different in Death Valley. Like, hey, man, maybe it's different. It wasn't this week. I mean, it was different because we were different. Last thing before we talk about Bama, I would have loved. I started with playing neck. I would have loved if Tennessee's band would have played neck because those UT fans that were there would have lost their minds.
Oh yeah.
It would have been the disrespect of this.
Oh yeah.
If I was there, I'd just been holding them L's up, take them fat L's, bro, and leave.
Yeah.
You know
that smoky dip. I would absolutely love that. Oh man, just incredible, like you said, team win, setting us up to go to this Bama game.
Yeah, you know what? I lied. Last thing. Incredible team win. We still haven't played. No one's going to play a perfect game, but I still don't think that we played our best game. And it's like we go in to an SEC West environment, and it's like, man, the game was over. Like the game was over in like the second quarter, like into the second quarter. It was just over. Like the rest of it was just, gravy on the biscuit because like everything, like we could have left and nothing would have changed. And so I can't find words that people haven't said already or that we haven't said that is so impressive. But like I said, I love it because it is a team effort. It's not like we have Johnny Manziel or Tim Tebow or Cam Newton back there just putting the entire team on their back. It's not like we have, a crappy offense with just an unbelievable defense or crappy defense or unbelievable offense. Like we really, really do. Obviously, the offense is the bread and butter, but the defense plays very, very good complementary team game for that. And it's, man, I've said it. It was my word of the day yesterday. I kept texting people just PRO, and I would spell out problem. I was like, man, this team is a problem. Like they are. Like, and it's nice to feel that way. Like we're 6 right now. I'm gonna tell you right now, the only teams in America that I would be like, okay, I would be excited to play them, but like, all right, let's see how we do. Would be Ohio State, would be Georgia, and Bama. We're going to play 2 of the 3. I mean, you give me Clemson, I think we rout Clemson. You give me Michigan, I think we rout Michigan. Like, you give me, some of these other ones, I think we rout
USC, Oklahoma State, right around there with us.
Route them. That's my thing. Obviously, we won't know unless we play them in a bowl, but I would, as a fan watching it, I'm like, I feel super comfortable. And I am not the guy that always drinks the Kool-Aid. I'm not. Yeah. I try to be as very realistic as I can be.
Yeah, let's
talk Bama real quick.
I'm with you. I think we win this game. I think we beat Bama. I seeing what Bama has done this year, and you look at the teams they played. They whoop up on Utah State. They whoop up on Vandy. They whip up on whoever they're UL Monroe or whatever. The other 3 games, Texas, they only win 20-19. Arkansas, they let them back into the game in the second half and end up pulling away. And we look at Arkansas now, they lost to Texas A&M. They just lost to Mississippi State. They're probably going to lose to BYU. They're not a good team.
No.
And then you look at this Texas A&M. Bama barely pulls away. I understand they don't have their starting quarterback, but what you were saying earlier, this is a team win, us versus LSU, and it's not, just a couple guys making the plays. In the past, if Alabama's quarterback was to go down, they still kill teams. Their defense still kills teams. Their running game still kills teams. It's not the same, bro. It is not the same. And I think them playing Texas A&M really did expose some things that Heupel can use on offense and that Tim Banks can use on defense. And let me tell you something. If Bryce Young, if he's not playing, they have no shot. No shot.
Oh.
No, there is no chance in hell. We're playing 3 games in a row with pretty much the exact same quarterback. There's no shot in hell that they win the game if he's not in there.
All right. No shot in hell. Kyler, that is so false. They still have the greatest college coach in history. They still have very, very good players. To say no shot is, I think that's a bit much. Because
Texas A&M should have won that game. They lost that game because of Jimbo's play calling on that last play. at Bama, not at home.
I know,
at
and
Bama.
they were
Bama's coming to us with what we have on offense, with what we have on defense, what we can do. If Young is not playing at quarterback, it is a guaranteed loss. It is, dude. It is.
You believe that in your heart?
In my heart, I believe that.
Yeah,
I believe that our offense can put 30 points up. We've done it 10 games in a row, and they can't with him at quarterback.
So listen, they are not. I don't think college football this year is the college football of the past. It is still going to be the same teams at the top at the end of the year, but I don't think those teams are as good as they have been. Meaning, like this year's Clemson team would get absolutely donkey kicked by the Clemson teams of the past. This Alabama team would get run out of the gym by Bama teams of the past. The Ohio State team, same thing. So I think all the same teams are still going to be there. But, like, I just don't think they're as good as they have been. And I like that about college football. And, like, I wish we had a damn 8-team playoff this year, because I'm telling you right now, Tennessee would be one of those teams you do not want to see. I don't know if we made it in as the 8th seed.
Guys might, teams might try and lose so they wouldn't play us.
I mean, it would not be a team that you want to see. Now, first off, like I said, I have way too much respect for Saban and Will Anderson and some of these other guys that they do have. But I feel like if it is that quarterback, then I agree that I think that we could win, and we would maybe win by 7, 10, maybe 13. Seriously, like it's insane to say, but I'm not. That's how I believe in my heart too. I still think it'll be a good game. I don't think they don't have a shot in hell. That's kind of insane talk to me. But if they have, but I'm still telling you, I think even with Bryce Young, who I think is a very, very good player, I think that we still win the game. I think it's going to be an absolute dogfight to the end. What happens? But when I've watched Bama play against Texas, and I think Texas is more improved. I think they are better.
I mean, they
this
just
year.
killed Oklahoma.
Yeah, I think they're well. I Texas has a loss to Bama, and then they lost to Texas Tech. But like, I think they are better than what they have been. And then, but when I've watched Bama, it's like I love bringing him up all the time because I'm just so impressed with him. But like Steph Curry, like when Steph Curry shoots, I'm more surprised when he misses, no matter the distance, the range, how crazy it is. And it's the same thing when I used to watch Bama in the past. Every time they do something, I expect them to do it right and to do it well and to make the plays when they're supposed to make them.
Yeah.
This year, it's not the case. This year, it's not the case. Like you said, they can't rely on a run game with these big old offensive linemen just mulling people over. They don't have a super. I mean, their running back is dynamic, the guy from Georgia Tech, but he's not like Bijan. We're just talking about Texas. He's not like Bijan. He's not like some of the running backs of the past. The other thing that's huge about what I think the same thing about Georgia, that Bama, they don't have a dog on the outside that's a cheat code. They don't have a Madden 99 speed receiver, no matter what defense you call, because there's a glitch in he's going to beat you over the top or he's going to beat man. Like last year they had with Mechie Williams. Like they don't have that this year, and Georgia doesn't either. I would pay lots of money to have Georgia come in here next week compared to Bama. But
just so that we could win the East?
Well, yeah, but I don't think Georgia can score with us. And it's crazy to say that, but they haven't impressed me either. But like, I think we have a better chance of beating Georgia. If we were playing both the teams at home, relatively healthy, I think we have a better chance of beating Georgia than we do with Bama. Yeah, I don't think this Bama team is as good as past. And my keys to the game, I got to have Gerald Mincy out there. I need Cedric Tillman back. And play a clean game of no more, no turnovers, limit the penalties. But it's going to be a 60-minute fight. I really, really believe that. And so it's they're going to make plays. We're going to make plays. We're going to do bonehead stuff. They're going to do bonehead stuff. We need a little luck. We need the ball to kind of bounce our way. But yeah, like Kyler, like I can't believe I'm saying this. It's insane. But like I do think that we win the game, and it's all because of how we've looked and how they've looked. And, Texas A&M always plays them tough. I mean, they were a 25, 26, 27.8 underdog, and people were still, taking Bama because like, oh, it's at home and it's this, that, and the other. But like, A&M matches up well with them, whether it's because of the athletes or it's just that mental thing. Like you said, like I'm watching that game last night. I'm like, I hate A&M. I kind of want them to win just because I want Bama to lose as many times as they can. But then I'm like, you know what? Like, no, maybe I do want them to win. So the matchup is huge, and we could be the first team to beat them this year.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm telling you, man, if Tennessee just keep playing like you've been playing, but let's get each of our players who are those average to above average, make this the week that you kind of play, out of your mind. If I'm a 10, 12, 15 handicap golfer, let's hope it's the day that I go out and I shoot, a 37 or 38, or an 82, 83. It's the game that let's hope Kyler Kerberson goes out and he's in that zone that you've talked about, that you're seeing everything, that your hands, your place, you're in the zone as a player. Like, let's hope all of our players can play that way. And like I said, play as a team game. And let's see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, listen, everything that you said is the reason why I truly believe if Bryce Young is not in there, that it is a victory because of what you said, because of the things that you've seen from us, the things you've seen from Bama. Not having the wide receivers, having that good running back, but not having necessarily the maulers on offensive line, seeing the holes in their defense and the ability for Arkansas to make big plays on them. Like, that stuff makes me believe if you don't have your best guy on the field, your Heisman winner from last year, you're not going to keep up with us. We're the number 6 team in the nation. It's like missing your starting quarterback is a huge deal. And I don't think they can beat us at home. I don't think as a number 2 team in the nation, you can beat a number 6 at their place without your starting quarterback. Like that in general, right there.
I don't care about the rankings because I think a lot of times teams are way overranked. There's plenty of times in the past where it's like number 1 Arkansas versus number 4 LSU, and LSU goes and blast them. So, like, I don't care about that stuff. But quit talking about if Bryce Young's not there. I think 100% he's going to play unless there's something that we really don't know about. I mean, he was dressed out last night, so that could be some gamesmanship, or it could have really been, hey, if the other dude goes down and is hurt. I don't know how all that stuff works because that never made sense to me. Like, if he's healthy enough to be the backup, then why is he just not playing? But anyways, like, I think Bryce Young plays. But, like, tell me what you think if Bryce Young plays.
If Bryce Young plays, it's a 60-minute game. It's a lot closer. It's one of those. It's a dogfight. We got to try and make it out of there because the plays that he makes when he's in there are incredible. I mean, the play he made versus Texas, getting out of that sack, like that guy. There's a reason he won the Heisman. Like he makes those plays to make his team better, and that's dangerous. That's something that he is someone who can keep up with our offense because he's out there. But if you got the backup and he fumbles the ball a lot and all he can do is really run, and when it is a pass, he doesn't know what to do. Yeah, I see it as it like Saban doesn't want him in there. Saban doesn't want Milrose as his quarterback. He hates it. I guarantee it. He's like, God, this guy can't find a receiver to save his life. He's fumbling the ball all over the place. He is literally the only reason we scored 24 points. We should have scored 50. But
you'll see a lot of zone coverage if he's in there. A lot of zone coverage.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I'm like, Saban's mad that Milrose is in there. He doesn't want him in there. He wants Bryce in there. And that makes a big difference. That's all I'm saying. But I agree with you. Like, I still think we win this game. I hope they put the line at like 10.5 and give Bama Bama minus 10.5. I hope they do that because it'll be the easiest bet in the world.
It already opened up. I saw it was opened up at like 10.5, and the money's already started dropping on Tennessee. Like, I think it's down to 8 now. People are already putting money.
I mean, what would make you think that they're going to win by 10.5 points? Like, there's no way.
It's just the Bama effect, man. It's just. I mean, and they've earned it. Listen, they've earned it. So, but man, it's unbelievable what we're saying. This isn't even we're halfway through year 2, and it is freaking insane what we are saying. Great pod. Love talking with you. We just gave these folks an hour and 40 minutes of my time where I could have gone and done an E9 after the Titans squeaked one out. But, hey, maybe one day this will all pay off.
Hey, so just try and enjoy the time you have now because, you don't want to miss the glory days when you're in them. Enjoy them. Like this is that time where it's like, this is what it felt like in the 90s and early 2000s when Tennessee was rocking. And no one's really felt that in a while. So just soak it all in. All right. Appreciate you guys watching and listening. If you are watching on YouTube, please rate, review, like, hit that notification bell, leave a comment. Comments are the best. I love answering them. So does Reed. We get a hoot out of it. So please do that. If you are just listening, rate and review, leave 5 stars, download and re-download. It helps so much. If you want to follow us on social media, at Believe in Tennessee for our main account, at rbacon26 for Reed, at Kyler Curbison for Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for myself. And again, you guys are the best. How about them Vols? They're freaking amazing. We're going into Alabama. I am absolutely fired up. This is going to be an incredible atmosphere. As always, go Vols.